Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to take a look at a brand new set that has gone and been revealed. It's Night Wanderer. Night Wanderer is here, ladies and gentlemen, and I could not be much happier about it. I was hoping they would go and reveal it yesterday. They didn't. There's a Champions League in Sapporo this weekend. Shout out to lovely Antoine Billet, who had a very, very good run and has helped me. Well, I did a translation myself, and then I did check with Antoine. But now we've got ourselves a new set. It's got all of the loyal free, and it's got Pecharunt as well. If you like Darkness Pokemon, you're going to like this set. And I think we're going to go through 4 EXs in this video. And yeah, there's 4 out of 6 in the set, and they're all Darkness types. So I hope you like Darkness Pokemon. So I want to start off with Okidogi, who is potentially legitimately broken. I adore this card. I think this card is fantastic. We have 250 HP on a basic Pokemon, which is a huge amount of HP. And we've got an attack for a single colorless energy that lets you attach 2 darkness energy from your deck to this Pokemon. But if you did attach any in this way, you poison Okidogi. Which sounds not great, but there's a very good reason for this. Yes, you have to self-poison, and that's a little bit annoying, but it's kind of worth it, I promise. Because what you've got here for 2 darkness, 1 colorless energy, 130 damage. Not particularly good. If this Pokemon is poisoned, this attack does 130 more. That's 260 damage for free energy on a basic Pokemon that's got 250 HP. Although it's not really 250, because obviously this only really works if you're poisoned, and if you're poisoned, your HP will be whittled down. I get that. But this adds up pretty quickly. And we've got a bunch of supporting characters here which are going to help quite nicely. In terms of poisoning, you've got the first attack. But you've also, don't forget, got Brute Bonnet. Attach an Ancient Booster Energy Capsule and boom, both active Pokemon are poisoned. Your opponent's Pokemon starts taking poison damage, as do you, but you also hit for 260, which helps to soften the blow a little bit. And of course, you've got that first attack that gets the energy on while also poisoning you. So you go second, use this, and you're ready to go on turn 2, hitting for 260. It's quite nice. But don't forget, Dark Patch is very much still in the format right now. So you can absolutely be using Dark Patch to get the energy on a little bit faster here as well. And the challenges you've got are the energy and the poison. And I don't think they're particularly ridiculous things to get rolling. Now, I'm going to go and give this one between 4 and 5 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. But you need to give me a second, because there are other cards that we need to be looking at here, which are going to help out very nicely indeed, that are going to make this a significantly better card. We've got a tool. We've got Binding Mochi. Now, Binding Mochi is a very, very, very good tool that says if your Pokemon is poisoned and you attach this tool, you do an extra 40 damage. So now that 260 I said a minute ago, yeah, that 260 has actually become 300. And this is why I really like Brute Bonnet as a way to do the poison here. Because you can get it better. Radiant Hisuian Sneasler is what I'm looking at here. Because if you get Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, then all of a sudden, that poison damage isn't 10, it's 30. And it has to be Hisuian Sneasler because that doesn't add poison damage to yourself. We got a Stadium that can do it, but that will add poison damage to you as well. So you can use a Stadium if you like, but I think Radiant Hisuian Sneasler is the answer. And now we got 300, add the 10 for poison, add the extra 20 for Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, and all of a sudden you're hitting 330. That's Charizard. That's everything except the 340 Pokemon. There are a few Pokemon with 340. Outside of that, you're getting everything. And we've got Dark Patch to get the energy. We've got Brute Bonnet to get the poison. And with Radiant Hisuian Sneasler and the tool for yourself, that's 330. Yes, I know that's Brute Bonnet and Radiant Hisuian Sneasler and the right tool on Brute Bonnet and the right tool on yourself. I understand. That's why it's not a slam dunk 5 Wossie card. But These are all not that difficult. We're talking about basic Pokemon and tools. We're getting a couple of basic Pokemon and tools. That's all we're asking. And then you got a basic Pokemon that can one-hit KO Stage 2 EXs. I think that's worth having a little bit of a play around with, personally. This has a redonkulous amount of potential. Okidogi could be absolutely brilliant. But while we're talking Okidogi, why don't we have a quick look at the very first ever Pecharunt? Because it's got an ability which is going to help. Now, 190 HP on a basic Pokemon is actually very low. But once during your turn, you may switch one of your benched Darkness Pokemon, and it does have to be Darkness, other than Pecharunt EX with your active. Your new active is now poisoned and is limited to once during your turn, so you can't use more than one, even if you've got multiple Pecharunt. The thing is, though, you can now just poison yourself instantly with Pecharunt. Like, Pecharunt switches you in the active, and then poisons, and then you're hitting 260. I don't mind this at all. No, I'm not sure it's quite as good as using Brute Bonnet, because Brute Bonnet also poisons your opponent and helps you hit good numbers, but it's a basic Pokemon that can get that poison damage on super easily. Oh, and then 2 Darkness Energy, 60 damage for each prize card your opponent has already taken. Yeah, that's a great finishing attack. Early game, that's going to be 2 energy, nothing. But in the later game, this goes up to 300, not including poison damage. And again, poison with Radiant Hisuian Sneasler is 30. So your opponent's taken 5 prizes, you do 330, which is a very key number. Gets pretty much anything relevant. It's redonkulous. And of course, like I say, the poison, you're just talking Brute Bonnet and Radiant Hisuian Sneasler. It's really not that difficult. And the energy, you're just talking a single Dark Patch and attachment per turn. Make no mistake about it, Pecharunt it's got a useful ability that you may well end up wanting to use. Certainly when you don't need to hit up to like 330, when 260 will do, this is a really easy way to get the poison on yourself. As, if you only need to hit 260, just get the energy on Okidogi here, use Pecharunt and you're off. When you don't need to really start stretching for damage, it's a great way to get the poison on, and it's got a great finishing attack as well. I think this is awesome. So there's 2 new EXs. Oh, this one, I'm giving this one 4 Wassies. I think it's got a really useful ability, and the attack is great. But wait, there's more. We've got Munkidori. While we're talking about Pecharunt, we might as well move on to Munkidori. And what we've got here is 210 HP, which is still not great, but it's fine. But it's got a rather lovely ability whereby if this Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, while you've got Pecharunt EX in play, your opponent takes 1 less prize card. So as long as you can have Pecharunt in play, this is a single prizer. Now, obviously, abilities can be turned off, and then it's a 2-prizer. Your opponent can KO you with poison or something like that, in which case it's a 2-prizer. But a lot of the time, this is just going to be a single-prize Pokemon. As long as you can give a bench space for Pecharunt, which is redonkulous. Is it any good? Well, obviously the attack isn't that good. The ability is so good, the attack can't be that good. Otherwise, this card would be too good. It's free energy, 190, and it can't use it next turn. It's not good. 190 isn't really a key number. If you're doing a whole poison package, you can play around with that and get it easily up to 220, which will get Pokemon V and a bunch of basic EXs. It's not particularly good, but it's alright. If 190 damage will do, then this is fine. Because essentially what you just do is attack with this, and then just essentially use it as a single prize Pokemon. The problem is that sooner or later, free energy on something like this becomes quite a lot. Okidogi, you don't mind putting the energy on because you're doing so much damage. Pecharunt is only 2 energy, so it's fine. But when you get to a 3rd energy on something that isn't really doing all that much, and then you're kind of giving it up, and then your opponent is, even if they're only taking 1 prize, they're taking a lot of energy off the board, we don't have something like Baxcalibur for Darkness. Dark Patch is good, but Dark Patch isn't going to get you through the entire game. So you need to start thinking about the energy here, and how easy it's going to be to get back. And Okidogi can attach to itself. You've got your dark patch. I worry here that the biggest issue is honestly just going to be keeping energy on here. But if you can, having this as a single prize Pokemon, 190 is still good. But we lost Galarian Moltres. That's not in the format anymore. That was in Chilling Reign. That rotated out. So we do at some point, and again, we've not seen the rest of the set. There might be more cards to get later, but we've not seen all of the cards. There might be more energy acceleration. For right now, that's what puts me off with this Pokemon. I'm giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. It's still going to be a card that does 190 as a single prize Pokemon, which is still good. But the energy worries me, and I'm not sure it's quite good enough for everything else we've got going on here. But I've told you about 2 of the Loyal 3. I need to tell you about all 3 of the Loyal 3. We've got Fezandipiti. Fezandipiti is nuts. I'm just going to tell you right now it's a 5 Wossie card. I'm not going to tell you what it... I will tell you what it does, obviously. It's a terrible, terrible video if I didn't. But I'm warning you at the beginning it's a 5 Wossie card. No issue whatsoever. So what we've got here is an attack, 3 colorless energy, 100 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's fine. It can use any energy acceleration because it's colorless. 100 Snipe is pretty good. You'll be able to get a bunch of supporting and evolving Pokemon. This attack is fine. It is actually usable. It's not great, but it's usable. But what we've got is an ability that reads, once during your turn, if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, draw 3 cards. It is hard limited to once per turn, regardless of how many Fezandipiti you've got out. But your opponent takes a prize, and then this is just to draw 3. I adore this. I think this is brilliant. I love the fact that you can essentially time this whenever you want, so you can empty out your hand and then go and use it. You can really do what you need to do here in terms of the timing of it. And I know this is good because Oricorio GX was good. It's Oricorio GX, except it's actually got more HP, but then Power Creep kind of explains that, and a usable attack. Oricorio GX's attack was hot garbage. Fezandipiti's attack isn't amazing, but it's colorless energy and can snipe 100. It's Oricorio with a usable attack. And when we get stuff like this, we don't need to guess, is it going to be good or not? We know it's going to be good. Now, it is, just to be clear, Pokemon knocked out during your opponent's last turn. So that means that if something was knocked out by poison during Pokemon Checkup, for instance, it won't work. But as long as it's not that, you're going to be okay. And this, we're looking at it here because we're looking at the Loyal 3, and it seems weird if we don't include this in the video. But make no mistake about it, this is not for the Loyal 3 deck. This is for anything. If you're playing a single prizer deck where you are expecting to have a Pokemon KO'd basically every turn, use this. And then it is going to be so much better. I adore this. Like I said, hands down, flat out, no question, 5 Wossie card. Okidogi is phenomenal, but it's a little bit awkward at times. It needs to get some work done. Pecharunt is great, but you poison on the switch in and your opponent's got to take prizes. Fezandipiti is just great. Hands down, no question. Great. This is already shaping up to be a good set. Now, we've seen 4 of the 6 EXs and they're all darkness, so that does limit what we're going to see in the set. But make no mistake about it, this is going to be a good set. It might be a mini set, an A set, but we have already seen more from this set, which we know is going to be phenomenal, than we've seen in some A sets in the past. Get ready. This is cool. But now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these cards. Tell me if you're as excited about them as I am. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Good us. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Ray of Light, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person, so shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.